Story 1. What does no investing mean? Does it mean no stocks? Technically, buying anything could be an investment if it appreciates in value over time. Story 2. I booked plane tickets to different countries for the next year, along with the associated hotels, transportation, prepaid meals, and shows or experiences. Story 3. 1 million lottery quick picks. I may only win back about 30%, but with $300,000, I could take my time and save or invest it. Story 4. Pay off debt, pay off mortgage, buy some expensive cars or something that does not immediately depreciate in value that I could resell to get most of the money back after the 24-hour period. Story 5. Every overpriced airport snack I have ever declined, a lifetime supply of hoodies, and a private concert where the band only plays the one song I like. Story 6. PC setup, 10,000. Sim racing setup, 10,000. Some Steam games, 500. Car, 100,000. House, 500,000. Counter-Strike 2 skins, 100,000. Samsung S25 Ultra, 1,500. Asus ReFirux G16 5090 laptop, 4,000. Most high-end virtual reality setup possible, 30,000. Steam wallet savings, 10,000. Donate the rest to Mr. Beast's Water to Africa charity, approximately 230,000. Story 7. First, I would buy a new house, then spend the rest on a ridiculous shopping spree, cars, technology, maybe a private island. Who knows? You only get one chance to live like a rock star. Story 8. Just pay off all my debts, then pay off all my parents' debts, then move on to in-laws' debts. If anything is left, gift it to my kids and nieces and nephews. Gifting is not investing. Story 9. If I cannot invest or save, and a house purchase will not complete in a day, I would likely just buy $1 million worth of scratch cards. At least I would have some money I can keep. Story 10. Help my parents so that they do not have to work a single day anymore and can live comfortably for the rest of their lives because they are old. Then help my relatives in my home country as much as I can. With the remaining money, I would spend it on buying tickets to all the countries I could travel to with my partner. Story 11. I would pay off every ounce of debt I have and use the remaining dollars to buy as many cars as I can afford. Dealerships move quickly when you are paying cash. Story 12. Pay off mortgage, buy a new car, buy 2 plots of land for kids to build their own houses, and whatever is left over, just buy material things for the family. Story 13. People say houses close quickly. Have you ever in your entire life heard of a house closing in 24 hours? Takes weeks. Paying off your own house may be as simple as pressing a button on a website, but you are not buying a house in 24 hours. That being said, pay off my house and buy the most expensive Porsche or Lamborghini off the lot at the dealership down the road. Easy. Maybe an Audi RS6 if my dealership has one in stock, as those also hold value pretty well. Story 14. Paying off some debts and then giving the rest away. $5,000 is life-changing for many people. I would visit schools and pay off lunch debt. I would go to the electric company, wait with people paying their bills, and pay for them. If you are going in person, it can be difficult. I have been there. I would do as many things like this as possible. The original poster did not say I could not have help, so I would enlist friends. It would be an awesome day. Story 15. Real estate. I am getting my foot on the property ladder, even if it means cutting it off and throwing it on there like a pair of shoes onto a telephone wire. Story 16. I would plan a trip for my friends and me to Tanzania, including a safari excursion and a villa in Zanzibar with a butler and a driver. Then I would use the remaining budget for shopping. Story 17. Pay off debt, a large number of solar batteries, and my children and I get new cars. The rest in gold, silver, or coins. The markup is high and resale value is low, but it is quick and easy to convert. Story 18. Gold. If that counts as saving or investing in property takes too long, I would buy collectibles, art, jewelry, or antique furniture with good provenance. These are items that are easy to resell and likely to increase in value. Story 19. I would buy a nail salon, a tattoo parlor, and the laundromat so I could launder the money I had left over from the last time someone asked this question. Story 20. Ooh boy, that does not go as far as it used to. If I could, I would like to get a farm with llamas and alpacas and new cars for my mom and me. I do not know if I could get all three, though. Story 21. Pay off the last of my student loans, ask my close family and friends if they have any debt, and then use the rest for land. Story 22. Investing is anything that will yield future benefits. That covers pretty much anything you can buy that brings enjoyment. The real question is, what can you spend $1 million on that would bring harm to yourself and others? Story 23. A house worth $500,000 paid off in full. An electric car worth less than $60,000. Physical gold with the rest. It is not an investment, I just like gold. Story 24. Buy a house for $750,000. A boat for $150,000. Then a new Harley-Davidson Road Glide for $45,000. Then I would pay off my Toyota Highlander, $37,000. Then $18,000 for a Rolex. Spent. Story 25. Spend it on paying for my uncle's triple bypass. Then buy a gaming personal computer for my fiancé. Then the rest goes to cancer research. Story 26. If I am able to buy something that I want and is useful but may appreciate in value long term, is that okay? If so, I will have many Magic, the Gathering cards. Story 27. I would pay for a city beautification project in San Francisco. It used to be a wonderful city to visit. Now it is just filthy. $1 million will not go far to help, but I could get others to match me, create a nonprofit organization, show interest, and garner support from others. Story 28. Is buying a house investing? If buying anything is an investment, I would sit down for the day and book a short time of travel. The memories would be worth it. Story 29. Donated everything to charities, helped the homeless, assisted people who were hungry, and supported anyone in need. Story 30. I would go to a Ferrari dealership and buy all the cars. If I had money left over, I would go to a Porsche dealership. Story 31. Pay off your debts. Use whatever is left to buy land. Then sell the land to developers for double a few weeks later. Technically, this is not investing, and technically, you have spent the $1 million. Story 32. I would order new custom furniture, boots, saddles, and tack with hand-engraved silver and prepay. I would order multiples to be delivered at various times in the future. Get a new rig and spend the rest on horses. Story 33. Pay off debt and mortgage for my family and me, then friends. The rest would go towards either fixing up our place or buying a new one. Story 34. What kind of money is this that expires after a day? Who will take it away if I do not follow the rules? And who is telling me the rules? Mystery original poster, man. What does the person making these rules gain from this? What profit do they get? Story 35. I would buy a new car, nothing fancy, something reliable. I would pay off my student loans and my brother's medical bills. Any money left over I would use for my in-depth to-do list on repairs and necessities. I am guessing after all that there would still be a lot of money, so I would just donate it to one of the few charities I know would use it for a good cause. I only need enough to get my life where I want it. Anything extra is excess that would just weigh me down over time. Story 36. Pay off my mortgage and car loan. Buy my child and their significant other a house they could never afford in this economy. Pay off their car loans. Pay off my best friend's mortgage and car loan. Give her enough money to fix up her problematic house, which she was forced to buy in the high housing market to escape her abusive father. Buy myself a nicer house and sell the one I just paid off for twice what I paid for it in this economy. Perhaps even consider funding my husband, child, their significant other, and myself to emigrate somewhere where I would buy houses for us all. Use the rest of the money to ensure a comfortable life in the new country with new furniture, possibly new cars that suit the location, and sell the old cars before moving. Story 37. House paid off. Parents' house paid off. All student loan debt paid off. A brand new daily driver for me, my wife, and my son. A motorcycle for myself. A nice, modest fishing boat for the family, a truck to tow it, and about a dozen rods and reels of various sizes and styles. Outfit my wood shop with top-of-the-line machines, including a new table saw, drill press, drum sander, and planer. 3 new daily use laptops, 3 top-of-the-line gaming PC setups, every vinyl record on my list of about 75 that I want to add to my collection, and the last $150,000 would go towards donations to Amnesty International, Habitat for Humanity, the Freedom from Religion Foundation, and Doctors Without Borders. Can you tell I have thought about this before? Story 38. I don't think a house would close within 24 hours, so I would pay off all debt, get new cars for everyone in my family with prepaid maintenance plans, prepaid gas cards, and prepaid grocery cards. I would enjoy some amazing vacations, buy new furniture, and purchase new electronics. Then I would probably have fun visiting charity websites, finding their wish lists and buying items for them. If I still have money left, I would just donate it. Story 39. Simple. 1. Buy a new car. Ours is falling apart and we cannot afford a new one right now. 2. Fill our cabinet with groceries for the first time in years. 3. Buy a new computer mainly to ensure it will last for the next 5 to 8 years. 4. Probably donate the rest to lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender charities because they are likely to face challenges in the foreseeable future. Story 40. Mom and sister are getting a slice for sure. No strings attached, no kickbacks, free and clear. Close friends are also getting their rent for the next year, paying off their student and car loans, that kind of thing. An elementary school is getting a bunch of tickets to Disneyland for students and family, along with extra cash for charter buses and meals in the park. Depending on how much is left over, I do not know. I have always wanted a street-legal electric golf cart for getting around town. I should be able to close that in a day, unlike a car, even if it means buying from a reseller on Craigslist or something. Book myself a trip to an all-inclusive resort. I may not be able to leave that exact day, but since you pay in advance, that does not break any rules, does it? Story 41. A big solid house with a large yard for my children and a pool for me. 2 brand new cars with fully functioning amenities. I would get my teeth fixed as well as my spine and my hip. Story 42. Some might say buy a house, but that is only advisable if you can afford the property tax on a $1 million house, which starts at $10,000 per year and increases annually. Story 43. Pay off my house. Buy an RV, a Jeep, and a couple of motorcycles or scooters along with the required towing items. Have a full vacation on wheels. Story 44. I am buying $500,000 in gift cards. The rest is going toward paying off any minor remaining debt, purchasing a dream car or 2, and then I am giving the rest away to people in need. Story 45. If I am not allowed to buy a house, I will take a 1959 Gibson Les Paul and as many pre-war Martin guitars as I can get with the change. Story 46. I would just gamble the money away efficiently. Find a single zero roulette table and bet on black for $2,000 per hand. Anytime you win, you keep the winnings. After 500 spins, you will probably have $950,000 to $970,000. Story 47. I would pay 3 years of rent in advance for an office and living space. I would buy 5 very high-end personal computers and some cinematography equipment, along with 3 years of subscriptions for all the editing software. I would purchase 2 DJI-inspired drones with all peripherals and 5 Blackmagic Ursa cameras with all peripherals or Ronin stabilizers. I would hire 5 people and pay them 3 years of salary in advance. I would set up a robotics laboratory, buy 3 3D printers for different use cases, CNC machines, and all other necessary tools and peripherals. Then I would start a channel similar to Mark Rober's. Story 48. Pay off all debt in my family, including my brother's college expenses, mortgage, and my parents' small debts. Buy a new car. Purchase all hobby items I have been slowly accumulating in a responsible manner at once, such as model kits, a new personal computer setup, a watch, and pocket knives. Story 49. Pay student loans for myself and friends and family, pay mortgages as well, buy a new set of gift cards, and a couple of good secondhand cars. Story 50. I would pay off my parents' mortgage, buy myself a house by the water, buy a boat, and pay off my friends' debts. Gold and silver, if any of those count as investments. I would just buy experiences for future dates. Story 51. I'm hoping I find the money in the evening so I can breathe coffee and spend the night planning for the next day. I will need to pay people to work for me. I need to find out how to hire people with managerial household maintenance experience like a butler. Yes, you can hire an emergency butler. Hire a butler in the very early morning. If it's possible to hire and prepare the butler the previous evening when I first find the money, even better. Tell them what I need to accomplish. They should have experience in making complex things happen for people with lots of money as long as they have the resources. Make sure they are prepaid immediately with a bonus for completing the job by the deadline, assuming nothing goes wrong. Do what they tell me without arguing. By 9 a.m., people should be hired and things should be happening. By noon, the land should be negotiated and the bank payment in process. By 3 p.m., contracts should be done and paid. By 5 p.m., the property should be bought, contracts agreed and prepaid, purchases made, and plans extended into the evening where possible. Everyone is thanked and paid. Possible staff I'll have to pay during this miracle day, also known as staff the butler might hire. Hire one manager to find workers for me. Hire one to focus on managing the property. One to focus on building contract work. A financial advocate to manage the books while the group is paying for things so no one has to be distracted by, "Can I buy this?" Personal assistant to stay with me at all times. Hand everyone a bonus when they walk in the door and a bigger bonus for getting it done before 5 p.m. I'm not sure how this will be done, but I have all night to figure out a game plan. My purchase: land 30 acres or more, carefully selected to be kept in the family for many generations, close enough to town to be readily accessible to the general public, in a location unlikely to cause issues with the homeowner association, urban growth, neighbor activity, etc. If I select the right agent, this should be possible to do in a few hours in the morning and completed by noon so info can be given to contractors. A carefully selected truck likely to last 200,000 miles or more, not necessarily new. Supplies to repair it over the next 5 years, with mechanic advice on what parts are rare, difficult to replace, and likely to be needed. Prepaid contracted work to build a deliberately partly finished, easily retrofitted home. Prepaid contracted work to build a basic chicken pen, rabbit pen, garden beds, and other various starter projects, including bringing in major plants like cherry trees and apple trees. Prepaid contracted work to build various partly finished buildings that can be retrofitted for a variety of uses. I will add on and fit these buildings to my needs over time. Lots of gift cards to various box and variety stores. $20,000 in Home Depot, $10,000 in Lowe's, $15,000 in Walmart, $10,000 in Staples, $30,000 in Amazon, $20,000 in various restaurants, etc. Amounts don't matter, but the point is made. These are purchased items not categorized as investments. Don't forget a composition book and supplies to keep track of the cards and balances. Go to the supply store and buy supplies for a year: tools, feed, hay, chemicals, etc. The idea is to ensure the next 12 months of maintenance and to-do lists cost as little as possible while figuring out what farm work creates the most return. Selling eggs, canned goods, soap sold at the farm market, you pick strawberries, etc. I can focus all my time on building a farm and less on collecting quarters to buy toilet paper. 24 hours up. Everyone already paid. Bonuses handed out. Now I just wait for the contract work to finish and start working on my farm where I can and on my house using what money I have on gift cards. Are there holes in this plan? Yes, but I won't know if it can be done until I try. Story 52. Okay, so anything I buy is going to have resale value, so I assume that a loan is not against the rules. However, I guess I cannot buy a 3-story condominium downtown, live in one unit, and rent the other 2 since that would count as an investment. I would buy a nice downtown house. I considered putting $1 million down on a $3 to $5 million house, but there are too many pitfalls. I only have 24 hours, so I will find 3 houses I like in the $900,000 to $950,000 range and make a firm $1 million bid if they agree to pay all fees and closing costs. My first choice has 1 hour to accept or decline before I move on to my second choice, and so on. If I have to pay property taxes, then I must be allowed to get a home equity line of credit without violating the no investments rule. I would borrow approximately $50,000 a year for taxes and living expenses, and I would be set. If I get the house with no taxes but am banned from ever using the equity or selling it, that would be more difficult, but I would manage. Story 53. Pay off mortgage, car, and student loans. Buy a decent truck and trailer. Load up at Home Depot and other supply stores on replacement items for anything in my home that can and likely will need replacing within the next decade. Store these items in my sheds wrapped in tarps. This includes replacement filters for appliances, duplicates of everything in my breaker box, plus upgrades for when I add a workshop out back. Buy enough cement to pour a driveway and additional amounts for a foundation for a barbecue pit, along with bricks, mortar, and other necessary materials. Order a load of gravel to create a large pile in the backyard for landscaping purposes. Buy a small digger like the Honda GX390 and get an extended service warranty. Prepay any bills I am allowed to for a decent amount. Order prepaid dumpsters for contaminated soil removal to clear the dirt and sand filled with old construction debris buried on my property. Order a dump truck of clean soil to replace the contaminated soil. Buy a battery bank wall to go with my solar panels. Pay off the solar panels. Buy 4 large chest freezers, hook them up, and fill them with quality cuts of meat. Buy several types of 3D printers and a large supply of filament, resin, or other materials they use, as well as cleaner and replacement parts. Get a welding rig. Get a small generator to use with the welding rig. Buy a full set of every tool I need or have ever wanted, essentially everything found in a small one-man machine shop, including a small hydraulic press. Obtain a wind and watertight, grade-used shipping container from a reliable seller and have it delivered to the backyard. Buy supplies to convert the container into a workshop with air conditioning, a large fume hood, and HEPA filters to keep dust out. Order enough solar panels to cover the roof of the workshop, along with another battery bank wall. Get a top-of-the-line PC and spare parts so I won't need a new one for a while. Get a decent laptop. Get a high-end tablet. Buy physical copies of classic video games and movies for my collection. Replace lost or stolen classic consoles for my collection. Bulk purchase several collections of books on various subjects such as encyclopedias, National Geographic collections, how-to and DIY series, horticulture, gardening, veterinary texts, cookbooks, foraging and hunting guides, first aid, electrical, plumbing, and more. Buy complete sets of physical books from each author I enjoy. Buy supplies to convert a room in my house into a library. Purchase every book ever banned for any reason that I can. Story 54. Pay off all debts for myself and my family. Pay for renovating our homes. Buy a new car. Pay for a few vacations. And donate the remaining funds to charity or volunteering organizations. Story 55. I would buy gold or another precious metal and sell it once the terms of the 1 million expire. Alternatively, I could use it as loan collateral. Story 56. Stop trying to nitpick and answer the question. You all understand the spirit of the question. Whatever you buy should not remain with you or someone else you can borrow from later. You cannot buy stocks and gift them to your family, etc. Personally, book multiple high-end vacations in exotic locations and travel by private jet. All pre-booked and paid for. Or bet on black. Story 57. I would throw an impromptu party inviting friends, family, and coworkers. Whoever shows up would get their debt paid off except for any mortgages. Anything left over would go to random people. Story 58. I would buy my house, a new air conditioning unit, a reliable car for myself and my wife, and cars to put in storage for the kids. I would purchase a few guns and ammunition, a service dog for my daughter, and prepay a few babysitters for a year. I would pay off my wife's student loans and get gift cards for groceries. If I still have money, I would buy a lot of whiskey, wine, and beer, gaming personal computers, a new couch, and some televisions. Story 59. I would buy plane tickets for my 10 closest friends to take a trip around the world. We would rent Ferraris and drive on the Autobahn. We would stop in Japan to eat Wagyu beef burgers and drink bottles of the most expensive rye whiskey, like Lennell Red Hook. We would smoke the best cigars from Cuba and treat all my friends' wives to a spa day. Then, I would donate the rest to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital and other hospitals for sick children. Story 60. I would book a year's worth of holidays and excursions starting the very next day, and a large number of tickets for activities I want to do and see. I would also shop for a few hours. Story 61. So Brewster's Millions. I would just have the time of my life for that one day, not going to lie. Maybe put the rest of the money toward renting a nice property for the next year or so. Story 62. Can I pay off debt? I would do that and then probably buy $300,000 of airline and hotel gift cards and travel more. Story 63. Student loans paid off, house paid off, new cars for myself and husband, new gaming PC for husband, and new clothes for children and myself with whatever is left. Story 64. Anything you purchase, no matter the intent, is going to be an investment. Even bad investments are considered investments. Story 65. Easy. Go to a casino, exchange the cash into chips, and then exchange the chips back into cash. Feel free to gamble some if you want, but it is not necessary. The transaction now makes the original $1 million legally different from the new $1 million. You have neither saved nor invested. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.